Hey everyone, James Lynch here doing a quick reaction video to the news that former UFC interim champion Dustin Poirier has been arrested on a public drunk charge. This according to TMZ. We'll have a quick look at the article here. And it says the UFC legend was arrested early Sunday evening in Georgia. TMZ Sports has learned Poirier was booked for public drunk misdemeanor at 6:38 p.m. before being released several hours later at a quarter after 10 p.m. It's unclear what led up to Dustin's arrest. On Sunday, he reposted a happy Father's Day with his wife. And shared with her followers on Instagram, showing Dustin Poirier with his two children. Public drunkenness can carry up to 1 year in jail or a fine if convicted. Poirier is the former interim lightweight champ. He's one of the best 155-pound fighters of his generation. We know the story with Poirier's career. Yeah, unfortunate. Poirier's sort of come across throughout his career as sort of being like this, kind of model citizen. He obviously runs some charities and, very like well-spoken and seems like he has a good gig with the UFC. He's doing that podcast for Paramount. So, it's Father's Day. I celebrated Father's Day too. You got to be careful about this stuff though. I'll just say, and I'm not saying this to someone like I'm better than anyone else, but I think when you're in the public eye, you got to be really careful about like getting intoxicated and all that stuff. And, there was a video that came out that Ben Askren posted. It looked like he was just wrestling like a teammate. I don't know if this is what, I'm just going off what Ben posted here, but it looked like he was wrestling his teammate at the airport. And maybe that's where things like, someone saw him and they're like, oh, this is a threat. But here's that quick video that Ben Askren posted. Looks like he's just having a good time. It's nothing like crazy. He's obviously intoxicated. You can see it on the video here. It says he wrestled some of his friends. So you got to be careful though. People are around and all that stuff. But this is not like someone that's had a history of substance abuse or anything like that. I mean, it's not good. I'm not going to sit here and say that Poirier should be doing this. And I don't think it's a good look, especially for someone that is still employed by the UFC or Paramount, right? He's doing his show with them. But I just think, he made a mistake. And, Poirier comes out on Instagram after the fact and says, love you all, working on myself. That's all you need to do, really. I'm not saying we sweep this under the rug, but Poirier is not a guy who has a habit of like getting in trouble. So, everyone's got things they're dealing with. I don't know why I don't know why he was at the airport. I don't know why, he decided to drink that much and cause enough where someone's going to come and arrest him or whatever. But I don't think this is like something we need to be like really concerned about. I just think he made a mistake and he's paying for it. And people say their things. Let's read some of the comments on this. So we'll first read the comment on Poirier getting arrested. This is from Championship Round. See what people are saying here. We drink to cope with your retirement. Did he try and jump the ghillie? So people are kind of having fun with this. Was filming for Bud Light. Can't be drunk, jump in the ghillie. So people are having fun with this. Conor McGregor was going to say something seeing this. Actually, we haven't seen a McGregor tweet yet. Not to my knowledge. What are you doing? Dude retired 11 months ago after 41 fights. Can't even get drunk in peace. So again, I think this is the way we should take it. It's not something he should be doing, but it's not the end of the world. This isn't the same as like, someone seriously having like a problem or anything like that. Retirement not doing him so well. 34 likes on that. I mean, again, the guy he had too much to drink. Who doesn't have too much to drink? Not a real crime. Let the person enjoy. Anyone that watches on broadcast can see he's clearly an alcoholic. I mean, I haven't noticed that. Have you guys seen that? I would hope that's not the case. I haven't noticed that he's drunk on camera, but you guys let me know in the comments. I haven't really seen any sort of indication with that. And I don't know why he would, you'd hope he doesn't have any issues. He's got two kids. I always think of the kids first, right? Maybe it's just because I'm a dad, but like, you got to be there for your kids first and foremost. You should do RAF or BKFC. Clearly, Dustin needs competition and a purpose. He shouldn't do BKFC. He's taken a ton of damage already. Public drunk in Georgia and public intoxication almost anywhere else is 100% something Georgia would do. It's a misdemeanor. He'll plead no contest, pay $150 fine and move on with his life. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. I don't think this is a big deal, but at the same time, he's a public figure, one of the most popular UFC fighters. So there we go. There's people saying, give him another fight. No. What does he need to prove at this point? Right? So yeah, you can see some of the comments here. It's kind of mixed, but I think most people being like, what's the big deal? Ben Askren posting the video. Let's see what people say to that. Again, you can see, seems like Dustin Poirier got arrested last night. So they have it there. Some cornball ruined it for my friend Ed. You can't even have airport beers and wrestle anymore in this country. So I think most people are kind of understanding it's Poirier. Like, this is John Jones, right? Who has a history of getting into trouble with alcohol. Understandable, but Poirier, like I said, pretty much a model citizen. Ski wrestling is illegal now. Airport is the worst place to be drunk. I agree with that, actually. It happens sometimes, no big deal. That's kind of my take on this. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, you shouldn't be a public figure and getting in trouble, but also like, This is not a guy who has a habit of doing this. So I understand TMZ's doing their job. There's probably people mad that they even posted this, but you can't do that if you're a public figure, right? Like, especially someone that's as popular as Poirier there. And if we go look at Poirier's career, right? Pretty awesome career, who he beat and everything else. Has a win over Justin Gaethje, 37 years old. Gaethje also knocked him out too, but did beat Gaethje back in the day, right? 2018. Fought the who's who. But this is something you hear about with athletes. Like, they do struggle to get into retirement because they're so used to being competitive. But I would imagine Poirier, with, running his business, doing, guest appearances and podcasts and stuff, you'd hope that's where he's getting his competitive juices. But you also hope that he doesn't fall into a pattern where, he is doing that. But I hope that comment that person made about him being drunk, I hope that's not something that's going to go there. And I think Poirier strikes me as the type of guy, I'm just guessing here, that because this is so, forward here, and I'm sure he's someone that's proud of his family and doesn't want them to be involved, I don't think we'll see him getting any more issues like this. If this becomes a pattern, then yeah, it's something to keep in mind. But I think Poirier is a pretty intelligent guy from what I've seen. I've interviewed him once or twice. Just don't think this is something we should be too alarmed with. But again, you're representing yourself, your family, your brand, all that. Got to be a little bit careful with that stuff. Me personally, like, the days of me getting super drunk have been long gone. First off, my body can't take it. I'm older than Poirier, by the way, but the hangovers are brutal. The juice is not worth the squeeze. That's the thing that I kind of mention a lot, is like, it's not worth it for me to, do this to my body, feel hungover the next day, all that stuff. So, and I agree with the poster here about being drunk at the airport. Like, I've done times where, you drink a bit on the plane, but the problem is, like, you drink too much, it's not a very pleasant experience being stuck in a plane chair. So that's just my opinion, guys. Be careful with your drinking. It can lead to a lot of bad decisions and all that stuff too. So yeah, hopefully all is good with Poirier and learns from this, and see if the UFC says anything like this. But yeah, it's going to happen. Like, if Poirier was any other guy and this happened, TMZ's not putting this on the front page, right? So again, the Holloway fight was coming up to almost a year ago. It's hard to believe it's been that long since that happened. But to the posters below, I think RAF would be fine with Poirier, or do like jiu-jitsu, but like, no BKFC. He's taken a ton of damage already in his career. There's no need to do that. So again, though, most people, like I said here, pretty much on the side of Poirier, with being like, it happens. See if Conor tweets anything. But, Conor hasn't really been saying much about anyone, which is good, which means that Conor's probably in a good headspace. He's fighting in a little bit here, so we'll see what happens there. So anyways, let me know in the comments your thought about this. Like, how surprised you? I think if we picked a lineup of UFC fighters, Poirier would not be on this list of someone who would get caught doing this. So that's a bit surprising. Again, we don't know the full story all the time with people behind closed doors and what they might be dealing with, but I just say on the surface publicly, this is not something I expected. And hopefully it's the last of it. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @Lynch on Sports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.